My agility was 10. My intelligence was 10. Even my luck was 10, which felt less like balance and more like the universe refusing to have an opinion about me. Meanwhile, the guy awakening beside me got an A-rank lightning class and accidentally fried 3 ceiling lights with a sneeze. A girl from my neighborhood awakened a rare beast tamer class and immediately summoned a silver wolf the size of a motorcycle. My own screen showed one pathetic line: class, unassigned, talent, unknown. I stared at it for so long that the examiner thought the system had frozen. Then a second message appeared where only I could see it. Hidden talent detected. SSS rank. Reward sovereign. Effect: when a completed quest offers mutually exclusive rewards, the restriction is removed. New option unlocked. Claim all. I almost laughed. That was it? No dragon blood. No time stop. No sword that cut mountains. I could just be greedier than everybody else. At the time, I had no idea that greed was about to become a combat style. 3 days later, I entered my first beginner dungeon with a loner sword, leather armor that smelled like another man's panic, and 12 copper coins in my pocket. The dungeon was called Moss Rat Burrow. Nobody respected Moss Rat Burrow. Veteran players used it to teach their kids how to swing weapons. A food delivery driver once cleared it by mistake because he took the wrong basement staircase. My assigned quest was simple: kill 20 moss rats. I killed the first one with a sword strike that looked impressive in my head and extremely clumsy in reality. The rat dodged, bit my boot, and made me spin into a wall. I eventually defeated it by stepping on its tail and apologizing before stabbing it. By the 20th rat, I had improved from embarrassing to barely legal. Then the quest completion screen appeared. Normally, every player got 4 reward choices: 50 stat points, a rare beginner weapon, 1 skill book, 10,000 experience. Pick one. That choice shaped your build. New players who chose stats became stronger early. Players who chose experience leveled faster. Players who took the weapon gained an equipment advantage. Players who took the skill book gambled on a useful ability. I looked at the 4 rewards. Then I looked at the 5th button glowing under them. Claim all. I pressed it. For half a second, nothing happened. Then my body exploded. Not literally, but it definitely felt personal. 50 stat points slammed into me at once. 10,000 experience rocketed me from level 1 to level 7. A rare black dagger appeared in my right hand. A skill book materialized in my left hand and immediately dissolved into blue light. Skill acquired. Shadow step. My beginner sword dropped to the floor. I dropped to the floor right after it. The system had just given me the combined growth of 4 different players for completing one quest. I should have gone home. Instead, I noticed the dungeon exit quest: escape Moss Rat Burrow. That quest also had 4 reward choices, so I walked outside. Claim all. Another 20 stat points. A ring that increased regeneration. 3,000 experience. A passive skill called Night Eyes. I went back inside. The entrance quest triggered. Enter Moss Rat Burrow. It offered 4 tiny beginner rewards. I stared at the dungeon door, then at the exit, then back at the door. For the next 27 minutes, I walked in and out of Moss Rat Burrow, like a man who had forgotten where he parked. The system finally caught on. Repeated trivial quest rewards, reduced by 99%. I still claimed all of them. I left that afternoon at level 9 with a rare dagger, 3 rings, enough stat points to make a beginner examiner cry, and a completely unnecessary skill that let me identify edible mushrooms. That should have been the moment I decided to keep a low profile. Unfortunately, I have never been good at making decisions that reduce the chance of explosions. A week later, I joined a public dungeon raid under the old subway station. The party leader was a level 32 veteran named Garrick Vale. He had been a licensed player for 7 years, wore heavy silver armor, and spoke to beginners the way kings speak to furniture. He looked at my level 12 badge and pointed at the back line. "You carry torches." I asked if I could fight. He pointed at the torches again, so I carried torches. The dungeon was infested with iron goblins, creatures with metal skin and a talent for building machines out of stolen appliances. We entered expecting rusty spears. Instead, the goblins had constructed a rotating cannon from 2 washing machines, a streetlight, and what I was pretty sure was a coffee maker. The first shot launched Garrick through a ticket booth. Our mage screamed. Our healer hid behind me. I was still holding the torches. A side quest appeared. Disable the goblin cannon. Reward choice: Thunder Spear skill, Iron Body passive, 30 stat points, 20,000 experience. My eyes almost watered. I used Shadow Step to teleport behind the cannon. At level 12, Shadow Step was supposed to move me 3 meters. My boosted stats turned 3 meters into a violent black blur that sent my torch backward like a missile. It hit a goblin in the forehead. I reached the cannon, stabbed the control box, and accidentally activated the spin cycle. The entire machine tore itself apart. Quest complete. Claim all. Thunder Spear entered my skill list. Iron Body fused into my muscles. 30 stat points went straight into agility. 20,000 experience pushed me to level 16. The next goblin charged me. I tried Thunder Spear. I expected a little lightning projectile. A blue spear the size of a telephone pole appeared above my hand. The goblin stopped running. I stopped breathing. The entire party stopped making sounds. I threw it. The spear punched through 6 goblins, 3 walls, an abandoned train, and something much deeper in the dungeon that immediately made a boss health bar appear. Garrick crawled out of the ticket booth and stared at me. You said you were level 12. I was. That answer made things worse. The accidental boss was the Iron Goblin King, a level 40 monster built like a refrigerator that had discovered anger. It burst through the tunnel wall wearing a crown made from traffic signs and carrying a hammer constructed from an entire parking meter. Garrick ordered everyone to retreat. The Goblin King roared. A quest appeared. Defeat the Iron Goblin King. The rewards were absurd for a beginner raid. Epic Hammer. Rare Class Evolution Token. 70 stat points. 50,000 experience. My hidden talent practically purred. Garrick shouted, "Nobody touch the boss." We regroup. I looked at the rewards, then at the boss, then back at Garrick. Can I stop carrying torches? The Goblin King swung. I shadow stepped under the hammer, used my new Iron Body passive to survive the shockwave, jumped onto its arm, and drove the black dagger into its shoulder joint. It tried to grab me, so I activated Thunder Spear at point-blank range. That was when I learned a very important lesson. Lightning has splash damage. The explosion launched me into the ceiling. It launched the boss into the floor. It launched Garrick's helmet into a vending machine. When I fell back down, my hair was smoking and the Iron Goblin King had become a very expensive pile of scrap. Quest complete. Claim all. I reached level 23. The Epic Hammer appeared in my inventory. The class evolution token merged with my unassigned class and unlocked 4 choices. Blade Adept, Stormcaster, Iron Guardian, Shadow Hunter. Everyone else would choose one. My screen showed the same beautiful 5th button. Claim all. I pressed it before the system could reconsider. Class evolution successful. New class, Blade Adept. New class, Stormcaster. New class, Iron Guardian. New class, Shadow Hunter. Synergy detected. Hidden composite class created. Arsenal Monarch. That was the first time the system made a sound like it regretted knowing me. I came out of the subway at level 23 after entering at level 12. Garrick came out without his helmet, and with the expression of a man who had just watched retirement become a person. The guild inspectors surrounded me. One asked what my class was. I said, complicated. He asked what my main weapon was. I had a dagger on my belt, an epic hammer in storage, Thunder Spear in my skill list, and a class passive that increased damage with swords I did not own. So I said yes. 2 days later, every major guild in the capital tried to recruit me. The Iron Crown Guild offered money. The White Phoenix Guild offered rare equipment. The Black Harbor Guild offered me a penthouse. The Golden Lion Guild offered me 3 penthouses and a personal chef. I was about to sign with the chef when the system gave me a new quest. Choose a guild. Reward choice. Guild loyalty buff. Private training room. 10,000 gold. Unique companion egg. I stared at the contracts. Then I stared at the reward menu. Then I realized something dangerous. The quest did not say I had to choose one guild forever. It only said choose a guild. So I signed a temporary trial membership with the smallest guild in the city. A guild called Soup Ladle. They had 9 members, 1 broken office printer, and a mascot costume nobody admitted owning. Quest complete. Claim all. I received the loyalty buff, the training room key, 10,000 gold, and a glowing black companion egg. Then I canceled during the trial period. The system did not take the rewards back. I joined another guild. New quest. Join your first combat guild. Apparently Soup Ladle did not count. Claim all again. By the end of the week, I had joined and legally left 6 guilds, collected enough signing benefits to buy a small apartment building, and hatched a companion from the black egg. I expected a dragon. I got a tiny white chicken. It looked at me. I looked at it. The identification skill said, species, unknown. Threat level, undefined. Name, none. The chicken pecked my epic hammer and removed a bite-shaped chunk from it. I named him Omelette. Omelette became my greatest tactical mistake and my favorite person. The Guild Association finally forced me to take an official combat exam because my level was rising too fast to remain on a beginner license. The exam had 4 tests: strength, speed, magic, skill control. Most players specialized. I had 50 points too many in everything. The strength test used a reinforced crystal pillar designed to survive a level 60 fighter. I punched it gently. The pillar cracked. The wall behind it cracked. A parked carriage outside lost a wheel. The examiner slowly wrote down the number 900 and then added a question mark. The speed test was worse. I activated Shadow Step, overshot the finish line, passed through a staff lounge, stole somebody's sandwich by accident, and ended up outside in a fountain. The system gave me a hidden quest. Complete the speed test in under 3 seconds. I had done it in negative dignity. Quest complete. Reward choices. Agility points. Movement skill upgrade. Experience. Wind boots. Claim all. Shadow step evolved into void skip. The magic test instructor asked me to cast the weakest spell I knew. Thunder Spear was still the weakest spell I knew. They rebuilt that room later. By the skill control test, the examiners no longer wanted numbers. They wanted me to leave. Then a new candidate walked into the arena. His name was Leon Voss, level 68, S-rank class. 5 years of dungeon experience. National top 10 rookie from the previous generation. He was there to renew his elite license. He looked at the smoking wall behind me and laughed. So you're the new monster everyone's talking about. I told him I preferred administrative problem. He challenged me to a practice duel. The examiner immediately said no. The system immediately said yes. Quest. Survive 3 minutes against Leon Voss. Reward choice, S-rank sword technique. 80 stat points. 1 million experience. Mythic grade equipment chest. My brain stopped at mythic grade. I accepted. Leon drew a red sword and disappeared. I barely raised my dagger before he hit me hard enough to make the arena floor ripple. Iron body saved my ribs. Barely. He was faster than me in actual combat. Stronger too. My stats were high, but I had spent less than a month fighting monsters while Leon had spent years learning how not to get launched into fountains. So I did the only reasonable thing. I cheated with mathematics. Leon knew sword styles. I had Blade Adept prediction, Shadow Hunter footwork, Stormcaster reactions, and Iron Guardian defense. Instead of trying to beat his technique, I let 4 different class passives argue inside my body until the result looked like nonsense. He slashed high. My Guardian instinct told me block. My Hunter instinct told me dodge. My Blade instinct told me counter. My Storm instinct told me electrocute the problem. I did all 4. I crouched, blocked with the hammer, kicked his knee, teleported behind him, and accidentally summoned Thunder Spear upside down. The lightning blast hit the ceiling, bounced through the metal support rails, and shocked both of us. We stood there smoking. Leon started laughing. I started laughing too. Then Omelette ran into the arena, stole Leon's sword, and swallowed half the blade. The exam was paused for emergency chicken negotiations. 3 minutes passed. Quest complete. Claim all. 1 million experience crashed into me. I jumped from level 27 to level 41. 80 stat points entered my body. The S-rank sword technique, Falling Star Severance, became mine instantly. A mythic equipment chest appeared. I opened it. Inside was a coat, just a black coat. I was disappointed until I read the description. Mythic item, Coat of the Last Audience. Effect 1. Scales defense with the number of enemies observing you. Effect 2. Increases intimidation when entering late. Effect 3. Automatically repairs dramatic tears. I put it on. The arena lights flickered. A wind blew through the room despite there being no open windows. Leon looked at me and said, "That is the most unfair coat I've ever seen." I agreed. Then the national ranking system updated. A level 41 nobody had just survived Leon Voss. My name entered the top 1,000. That should have brought fame. Instead, it brought assassins. At midnight, 3 masked players broke into my apartment. They were professionals. 1 disabled the security rune. 1 poisoned my door handle. 1 used a silence barrier. The 3rd was apparently responsible for standing dramatically by the window. I woke up because Omelette was eating the poison. The assassins attacked. A quest appeared. Survive the assassination. The reward choices were hidden. That was new. I dodged the first blade, activated void skip, and appeared behind the window guy. He turned. I punched him. My new stats had increased more than I realized. He went through the window. We lived on the 8th floor. I panicked and void skipped after him, caught his ankle in midair, then realized I had no flight skill. So now both of us were falling. The assassin looked at me. I looked at him. He asked, "What was your plan?" I had one until the window. I summoned Thunder Spear beneath us and detonated it downward. The explosion launched us back upward through my own window. The second assassin stared at us in complete silence. Then Omelette jumped on his face. The 3rd assassin tried to escape. Falling Star Severance activated for the first time. I swung the half-broken beginner dagger. A silver line crossed the room. The assassin's weapon split in half. The wall split in half. The refrigerator split in half. My midnight noodles died instantly. That made it personal. 30 seconds later, all 3 assassins were unconscious. Omelette was sitting on the strongest one's chest, and my landlord was sending me messages containing words I had never seen in a rental agreement. Quest complete. The hidden rewards appeared. Assassin's Cloak. Poison immunity. 200 stat points. 3 million experience. Claim all. Level 49. Poison immunity. More stats. A cloak that became invisible in darkness. I put the cloak over the mythic coat. The system said the items were incompatible. My talent changed the message. Equipment restriction removed. Both effects active. That was when I understood the real danger of Reward Sovereign. It did not only give me more rewards. It removed the idea that I had to make choices. Every player in the world lived inside trade-offs. Tank or damage. Magic or strength. Speed or defense. Experience or gear. One skill path or another. My talent looked at every fork in the road and built a highway straight through the middle. 3 months after awakening, I was level 59.